All right, this is lesson 6 of Python for data analysis. We're going to do same thing we do every day, which is open up a web browser and go to GitHub /cuttlefish/Python for data analysis. And we could go down to this lesson schedule here and see that we're on lesson 6. So you can see the readings for today were Shaw exercise 11 to 26, and optionally LUTs chapters 9 and 14 through 17. So the LUTs is more of a traditional, a little more rigorous treatment of Python, and that one is member available through Safari Bookshelf that you have access to. So you're not, I only am requiring you to do the Shaw readings, but if you want to get more in depth, or if you feel very experienced and you want to skip the Shaw and do the LUTs instead or something like that, I'll leave that to your discretion. But if you're new to this, I just want you to focus on the Shaw exercises. So today we're going to do taking input, reading and writing files, and functions. And so then the assignment today is Python Fundamentals Part 1. Okay, so we can click on this number 6 over here. That'll take us to the lesson. And what we're looking at right now is the IPython notebook. So one thing to point out here is that this link up here says lessons/lesson06.ipynb. But what we're seeing on this page is an HTML rendering of that notebook. So this link is not the file itself. This link is a rendering of the notebook. That's why we always click on this raw button, because the raw will take us to the actual file itself, not to GitHub's rendering of that file. Does that make sense? So if you were to just copy this link up here and download this site, this URL, you would get an HTML file that wouldn't run as a notebook. So that's why we click on the raw link, and now we see what the notebook, what the file actually looks like, what the text file actually looks like. This is what GitHub renders to make it look pretty, which is similar to how Jupyter Notebooks renders it to make it look pretty. So we're going to copy that link, and it's a slightly different link because it has this raw part in front of it. So we're going to copy that link with our keyboard shortcut, ideally, such as Command-C or Control-C if you're using Windows. And then we're going to go over to our terminal, and we're going to go to the SIO209. So we're going to cd SIO209. Remember, we created this folder the first week. And then within that, we're going to go to Lessons. And you can see I'm hitting the Tab button to autocomplete to save time and avoid making mistakes. And now I'm going to do curl -O and in quotes. And we've been doing double quotes, but you can also do single quotes if you're into single quotes. That should also work as long as you use the same one on either side so the computer knows. And that's a pretty small file. It should download quickly. And now finally we want to activate the Conda environment. So if you're using Windows, your command is going to be conda activate, but for the rest of you, your command should be source activate, and then we're going to activate this Python 3 environment that we made. Okay, and so now we should be good. So what's the next command that we're going to type now? Jupyter Notebook, right? So we can type JUP and tab. That'll fill out the rest of the word Jupyter, because the only command that we have that starts with JUP is Jupyter. Then we have to write notebook here, and then enter. Okay, and I'm going to make this bigger. So we are now in our own, everyone is now running their own version of Jupyter Notebook, and you can now follow along with what I'm doing. So we're going to click on lesson 6. It'll take a minute to load. Is this working for everybody? Okay. Question?
Is there another command to open Jupyter? It's not working.
It's you're getting an error message?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.